Welcome to the Business of Beauty, where we help beauty entrepreneurs in building their business and reaching their dreams. This is your host, David Lee. Our guest today is a skincare expert at Face by Ashley, Herbal Skin Solutions Representative, and a Esthetics Academy Instructor. She offers cosmeceutical grade products with results-driven treatments to correct concerns such as aging, uneven skin tone, and acne scarring. She also educates industry colleagues on incorporating their treatment room to enhance their client results and long-term profitability. She is proud of training over 258 estheticians in micro-needling and dermaplane, both in person and online over the last 3 years. So welcome to the show, Ashley Hanlon at Face by Ashley.
Thank you so much for having me, David.
Oh, thank you. So let's dive right in. So tell us a little bit more about your business, and then kind of go into like some of the other aspects of your business that you work with and how it kind of synergizes together to your core business.
Yeah, so I've been licensed for 6 years this year, so I'm still a newbie as far as that's concerned.
Hey,
There's
you
so
made
much.
You made it through the first year and the 5-year mark, so those are big checkpoints.
Yeah, you're right. You know, sometimes just
Awesome.
to look back and reflect is a good thing. So I started about 5 years ago. I was just looking for a more serious career path. I was kind of working dead-end jobs and, wanted something more sustainable.
Okay.
And so I decided to enroll into a local aesthetics program at a local college. So I started there, and I went to school in the town where I grew up. So after I came out of school, I worked locally for about a year. And then I decided to make a move to Orlando. So it's just a bigger city.
Nice.
I knew there'd be more opportunity for me career-wise here in the bigger
were
city.
you in the beauty space before you went into, the education piece to kind of dive deeper in?
Yeah, so no, I actually wasn't. Well, I was into the makeup side of things, not so much the skincare. I didn't realize how much the two went hand in hand until I went to school. So yeah, I was really into makeup at the time. I loved doing my own makeup, and I was doing it on friends and family. And I knew I wanted to be able to practice makeup artistry in a legal way and with safety and sanitation. So to do that in Florida, you want to go to aesthetics school. So once I got into aesthetics, it was kind of funny because my teacher even told me at the time, if you're here to learn about makeup, this is not the place for it. So it was kind of, an internal decision I had to make for a couple of days. Is this something I want to move forward with? But obviously realizing how much the skin has to do with your makeup application and just all these things combined, I found myself getting, so much more interested in the skincare side of things. So once I came out, I knew the whole time, this is for me, this is what I should be doing. I love to make people feel good about themselves. So obviously that comes with the job too. So that was kind of how I started into aesthetics. And then once I moved, so I worked for a year at a Aveda salon, a local salon close to home. And so I got a lot of great experience there, with learning about the Aveda technique and some different things that I hadn't picked up in school. So expanded my, knowledge and the experience there. And then that's when I came to Orlando. So I just, like I said, I knew there'd be more opportunity for me here. So that's kind of what made me, take the jump. I had never lived outside of my hometown before, so it was definitely something scary at first. Obviously, I had no clientele in Orlando, so I knew I'd essentially be starting over.
Wow,
but
so you just jumped right in.
Yeah, it was honestly one of the best moves I could have made for my career.
Nice. Now, out of curiosity, were you still in the state of Florida, where your hometown is at, or were you out of state, going from different states?
Yeah, no, so I didn't make a state-wide move, but it was just a couple hours. I grew up more on the East Coast of Florida, further south. So, still, it was still a huge, jump for me to take a leap and a faith, really. And it worked out so well. So
nice. And this was, we're talking, what, 6 years ago?
So
right?
this was about 4 years ago.
Okay, 4 years
So
ago.
4 years I've been in Orlando. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're looking at 4 years ago, 2016, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2016.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now you've worked at another, a business of a beauty place, and then from there you're like, okay, a year later, I'm going to start my own. I'm gonna pack my bags, go to Orlando, and start your business. What was that like?
Yeah.
It must be
So
terrifying.
yes, it is. I mean, just making a move, I think in general, there's so
Yeah.
much anxiety and stress that comes with that.
Yeah.
And then obviously trying to lead your career at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's juggling a lot of things. But no, when I actually came up here, it wasn't necessarily to start my own business right away. I
Okay.
actually first started working at a Ritz-Carlton here in Orlando.
Oh,
Where
nice.
yeah, so that again, another sector of the business that I
Yep.
didn't really have any idea about. So the
Yeah.
resort spa life. So I worked there full time for about 3 months, but I wasn't working hands on. I wasn't doing facials there. I was just recommending home care after their services. And
Okay.
obviously, I came to Orlando to be hands on, to work with clients. I
Yeah.
knew that's more the direction I wanted to go. So
Yeah.
with them not having any positions available anytime soon, I started looking elsewhere, looking
Okay.
at other spas. My little sister is a hairstylist, so she was working at a spot here in Orlando that had a spa attached to it.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was kind of my in
Yeah.
at another spa. So I worked there for about a year,
Mm-hmm.
and during that year was when I went and took my hands-on class for micro-needling with Herbal Skin Solutions. So that's how I connected with their
Nice.
company. It
Yeah.
was an amazing service that I wanted to offer, where I was working at the time. I knew it had amazing results, good client retention. So I
Mm-hmm.
took a hands-on class with them, and that's how I connected with the CEO of Herbal Skin and the Esthetics Academy, Kalyn.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, so and then after, doing the treatment for about 6 months and seeing such amazing results with my own clients, that's when I onboarded with Herbal Skin Solutions to start teaching other estheticians.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So
so once,
officially, when did you start your business? Like when was the point when you're like, okay, I'm quitting my full-time job and I'm focusing 100% into my business? Like, at what point did you make that transition?
yeah, so it was kind of unexpected, to be honest. The place that I was working for at the time, we just didn't resonate totally on the future goals that we had for the spa. So, just due to some things there, we parted ways kind of unexpectedly,
Okay.
which was terrifying at the time. And I
Yeah.
was, hurt, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it just propelled me into going straight forward with my own business and doing
Okay.
things the way I wanted to do things,
Nice.
so it was kind of unexpected, but the room that Kalyn, that I took the class with, was actually renting from, she was getting ready to move and go out to travel on the road for a while. So it was a smooth transition for me to take over the space that she was in.
Nice.
So it really was
Nice.
kind of like a meant to be
Yeah, it's like a
situation.
win-win, perfect. The stars and the moon and the planets all aligned, right?
Yes. And that's how I knew that this is exactly what's meant to be for me. This
Yeah.
is what I should be doing, And so I started working in a wellness facility with other practitioners that are also small business owners. So everybody's an independent, and there's massage therapists, and so a lot of good support and kind of an all-in-one stop shop.
Yeah. Now it sounds like it sounds like there's a lot of value there that you can give to our audience from the point of, because I'm sure there are others that are struggling with that exact piece. They're either worried about getting let go, or they just hate their job, or they just want to part ways, and it could happen at any minute, right? So during your time and your transition, were you expecting it? Did you plan? Did you have a contingency plan? Did you did you have plan B, plan C? Like, what was that? What was going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, so those are all really great questions. I did not have a backup plan. So
Yeah.
definitely piece of advice I would give to anybody.
Yeah. Have a plan, a backup plan, plan B and plan C, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
always, nothing is guaranteed forever. And I think we're realizing this now more than ever with everything
Yeah.
going on, how
Yep.
it can literally take something, to just crush, or what feels like crushing your business in the moment,
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I didn't have a backup plan, it was kind of, okay, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
Was
So during
still
that time, at that point, were you like, okay, let me print out as many resumes as I can, blast it out, and at the same time, start building my clientele? And did you have other clients that you were working with one-on-one anyway? So did you already have a book of business? Like, tell us a little bit more about that piece.
Yeah, so the transition can be hard. I really didn't have my own clientele. Of
Mm.
course, when you're working for somebody else, you're
Yeah.
servicing their clientele, not really your
Yeah.
own.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and I would never want to step on any toes or, go about anything that way. If
Yeah.
clients choose to follow me, then that's their choice, and I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it, of course. But
Yeah.
yeah, so pretty much what I did was I was still working part-time at the Ritz-Carlton. I had actually
Okay.
went down to working only on call. So I guess I
Okay.
can say that was my backup plan. I knew I
Okay.
wasn't going to be completely jobless. So I was able to pick up some more hours there, during the transition. But
Yeah.
it was honestly within maybe a week of, departing with the other place that I found out Kalyn, was going to have her space available.
Oh,
So I got
nice.
in as soon as I could. I talked with the landlord of our building,
Okay.
really sweetie. She also works in there herself,
Nice.
and just, felt like I would be a good fit.
Yeah. Now, how did
So
you connect with Kalyn? Like, how did you connect?
Yeah. So, like I said, I originally went to take a hands-on microneedling class with her through the Esthetics Academy platform. She
Okay.
had an ad on Facebook that I came across, and I
Okay.
was new to that type of a service.
Mm.
But after, really in the class, we created such a great bond, and we really
Yeah.
just connected. There was just that energy, that
Yeah.
same connection, which is hard to find and pretty rare. But yeah, I just, I felt what she was doing with her business
Yeah.
was so amazing, teaching solo estheticians,
Yeah.
which now I am a solo esthetician, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for help and resources.
Yep.
I loved that she was providing that for the aesthetic community. So,
Yeah.
with me using her device and having amazing results for a few months, that's when she asked me to come on board to start training other estheticians on her device.
Love it. And I just want to stop right there and kind of share with the audience. And I don't know if others can kind of see what your journey has been and what you've done so far to get to where you're at. It's like, okay, anyone can just go and just go online or see an ad on Facebook and just say, oh, you know what? I'm just going to sign up for this course and just sit in the back row and just kind of like on cruise control, right? But what you've done differently, which is amazing, is that you built the relationship. You went ahead further than just taking a basic course. You built a good relationship. You stayed in contact. So then that's kind of what allowed you to open up new opportunities when the time came. I don't know if you saw that, but I'm definitely seeing him like, wow, because you could have been. I mean, I don't know how many students were in that class.
One thing I will say about her classes that I love is they're very intimate. So there were only 3 of us in this class.
Okay. Now, but even if it's like, let's say only 3 people, but I'm sure she's taught more than one session,
Yes.
right? So I'm sure she has more than 3 students, right?
Yeah.
So, but yet of
Yeah.
all those students, you were able to connect with her and you took over her old space and, it just kind of worked out, right? Because you built that relationship. Right. So that's what I want to, mention to the viewers and to our audience is that it's more than just, don't just, building your business, your beauty business isn't about, oh yeah, I'm just going to save this money, invest this money into this business, and then go to class, and get good grades. I mean, that's not the only thing to reach your goal and build your business. There's other things that are in between that make you a step above, and you're able to kind of get through, especially in times like this. Right. So anyways, please continue. I just wanted to stop you just for that, just kind of share a little bit more on how amazing your journey has been so far.
Thank you. And when I think back on it too, I never thought that I would be in the position now, 5 years in, teaching other estheticians, who I've made so many amazing connections with and lifelong friends, really, I think it's just get out of your comfort zone, which is, I mean, for me, very hard thing for me to do. But when you get around people that, vibe the same way you do, and you have kind of the same visions and end goals, it can really help propel you even further into being, we have to have the confidence in us, but when you're surrounded with good people that see and believe in you, which sometimes we don't see ourselves, so I think that encouragement definitely helped me to, get out of my shell a little bit more. So definitely just education. You never know who you can meet when you take a class, or when you go to a seminar or a conference or anything like that. Just connect with as many people as you can, because there could be an opportunity like this waiting in the windows for any of us.
Yeah, exactly. So now, so from a timeline standpoint, we're in, would you say 2017, 2018 now, during this transition? Okay. Yeah. So you started your business, and how was that starting? Like, where did you find your clients? I mean, you're at this point, you're in Orlando, right? You're 3 hours away from your family, except maybe your sister, right? You're with in Orlando, but that's about it. And you couldn't get your old clients because they're from your previous employer, and you had a part-time job at Ritz-Carlton, right? So what did you do next?
Yeah, so now it was just about marketing my business, so the main things was creating a business name, number one, which is, if anybody's ever done it, they know it's not the easiest thing to do. For sure. So creating the business name, just to kind of start your brand, get your name out there, get people recognizing you. I, had reached out to some people that I had connected with working at the hotel or just out and about around town, letting them know this is where I am, this is where I'm offering services. I went out and passed out flyers. I mean, old fashioned, walked the sidewalk, local businesses. Yeah, I did the whole thing, trying to get involved in community events as much as possible. Okay. Some Facebook ads I dabbled in a little bit, which I'm not completely savvy on that. So kind of a trial and error thing, but just trying to be more active.
Yeah. What was the most effective during this period in time? Like, and also I'm assuming you had your business card. Did you have a website at that time? Did you have, what sort of brand? Did you have a logo? Did you have, your social media pages? Like tell us a little bit more, like, what did you do first thing before you even printed out your flyers?
Yeah, so definitely social media was a huge thing to advertise my own business, that I'm out on my own. So my Facebook, a business page, not just my personal, but I created a separate Facebook business page, a separate Instagram business page as well. So being more active on those platforms. Definitely, I mean, a logo, I actually kind of created my own makeshift logo at first. You just got to do what you need to do to get by.
Yeah, I mean, this term is called bootstrapping for a reason, right? You just like bootstrap the beginning, and you do what it takes to survive, right? And then you grow from there.
It's not about being perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think, just getting that out there. I actually didn't create an official logo until right before Christmas. So I ran my business over a year without an official logo besides what I created on, Canva. Yeah. But But yeah, so word of mouth, honestly, I had a handful of really great committed clients that were coming to see me very regularly.
Okay.
And honestly, a lot of my clients base that I have built now, which November was 2 years since I've been in this space. So we're going on
Nice.
about 2.5 years.
Nice. Nice.
My major clientele now is from referrals.
Uh,
Just I
yeah.
actually have a lot of other estheticians that I've
Yeah.
connected with that also come to see me for services.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't working in the treatment room or maybe working different jobs, so they can't
Okay.
take clients. So I've gotten a lot of really great referrals, even from fellow estheticians, which always
Pretty
makes you
good.
feel so good when
Yeah.
it's somebody you admire referring, their clients or their family or friends to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
word of mouth
awesome.
definitely helped my business. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, has your services changed? I'm sure it has, but like how much and what has changed from your first year being in business to now, right? In the beginning, like I know some businesses they were like, okay, we're trying to go with the lowest price, or we're trying to offer so much more. We're trying to do so many different options. Like, what did you do in the very beginning, and how has that evolved from what you're doing now?
Yeah, so in the beginning, you're trying to build clientele. So I think a lot of the times we don't necessarily, for one, charge our worth, like you were
Mhm.
saying. A
Yeah.
lot of people like to discount.
Hmm.
Do have a discount, a $20 off for first-time clients, but other than that, it's very rare that I run any discounts.
Okay.
I want
Yeah.
them to see the value in the treatment.
Yeah.
So I'll give them $20 off their first facial.
Hmm.
Um, but other than that, the value is there. I know my experience, I know my knowledge,
Hmm.
and I'm
Yeah.
also in a very saturated area. There are, of course, tons of spas in Orlando.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
So in the beginning, did you go with the lowest price or try to, compete on price?
I
Yeah.
did, yeah. So
Okay.
definitely price changes have happened over the last
Okay.
couple years,
Yeah.
and they really say if you listen to a lot of beauty, consultants or
Hmm.
professionals in the industry, they'll say so really once a year we should be reevaluating our service menu and increasing our prices
Yeah.
because our prices on the wholesale side are always going up on supplies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have
So,
to keep that in mind and keep reevaluating what we're doing so we can continue to be profitable.
yeah. And since we're on this topic, and one of the biggest fears with entrepreneurs and business owners, they're like, oh man, I'm so afraid of increasing my price. I'm gonna lose like all my customers. As soon as I increase my price, they're not gonna like me anymore. Like, can you tell us a little bit more on that? Like, did you lose half your customers when you up your price? Did you get angry emails? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to not lose any clients because of
Oh,
price
yeah,
increases. My clients, I'm very open with them
yeah.
about, how I pursue my career, the classes that I take, the investments that I make, the trade
Hmm.
shows that I go to.
Yeah.
I do try to get as much information as I can. So I know that brings a lot
Hmm.
of value to my treatments.
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah.
that they appreciate that out of
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
They want somebody that's truly looking out for their best interests, not
Yeah.
just treating them as another number in it to make, a few bucks.
Yeah.
So I think having that trust and building that relationship with my clients has
Hmm.
definitely helped with price increase.
Nice.
Um, yeah. But, I know that a lot of people are scared about that happening, but it's actually, it sounds scarier than what it really is. I mean, your
Yeah.
clients love you, they trust you, they have a unique, special relationship.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't want just anybody touching our face and in our personal space. So,
Hmm.
you know, maybe add some more value somehow in a way where you're not spending money, whether maybe
Hmm.
it's just a little more time, maybe a little more education, maybe you're
Yeah.
sending them home with a sample post-care product or
Mm.
something that doesn't cost you much but still adds value to the treatment.
Okay.
So there's definitely
Okay.
different ways to kind of go around just, oh, I'm raising my prices, and
Okay.
everybody kind of freaks out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So when you increase your price, do you kind of highlight those pieces too? Like these are some of the things that we're doing, or do the clients kind of recognize that, like, oh yeah, your their customer experience has been better. And so they realize, okay, well, I understand. If the prices are going to increase, it's because of these reasons. Like, did you have to say it, or?
I mean, I am upfront with them. I mean, if they ask me, you know, some of my clients, they get repeat services. So obviously they know they're spending pretty much the same amount every time, you know, so they'll notice if there's a price difference. But, you know, just even at the first of every year, if you have a price increase, just send out an email blast to your clients, just letting them know. I mean, you don't have to make it more than what it is. I mean, just send out an email and then kind of deal with it as it comes, you know. If people have that feedback, but you don't want to set yourself up for the negative input either. You know, it's standard in all business practices. I mean, whether it's aesthetics or anything else, you know, prices will fluctuate. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, has your business like model changed? Like the programs, have you added any different types of programs, or is it, you know, still the same from a point of, okay, it's a one-time walk-in fee or a service fee X amount? Like, what has changed over time?
Yeah, so definitely referral program was something that I implemented into place because word of mouth was such a huge was successful with my business. So I offer anybody that does word of mouth, basically they'll get a free add-on if they refer somebody to me, which my add-ons are more advanced treatments that typically are valued at $50, you know, minimum.
Which they're usually paying for anyways, right? Because they're going to you and they're getting a treatment. So it just ends up, hey, if they start referring you, their extra service that they're getting anyways, it comes $50 off essentially, right?
Yeah, and it's a nice way to introduce people to new services that maybe they haven't tried before, you know, that I think is what their skin could benefit from. So it's also kind of opening a door into a new service.
Yeah, I like that. Now let's jump a step back. So, and this would be another thing that our viewers, especially our viewers that, you know, I'm guessing a lot of our viewers come from the aesthetic space, or they're going to school right now, or they're working for someone. Okay. And what was your jump, and what did you have to learn additionally to basically operate a whole business, right? When you're working for someone, you don't have to worry about, okay, all these other things about running a business. So what were some of the hurdles and challenges that you had to get through? Like, oh my God, I didn't realize this, or I didn't know I have to go through all this additional stuff to run a business, versus just, okay, I work for someone, I do a 9 to 5, and I clock in, clock out, and I'm done, right? So what are some of the things that you wish you knew, and how did you kind of overcome those pieces?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of being a solopreneur, is that there's no clock in, clock out. You learn very quickly. You are on pretty much 24/7. At least until you get things running the way you're happy with, you know. So I did go through challenges. You know, I went through challenges of you know, devaluing my services, not charging as much as I should have. Giving out a lot of free treatments that actually were costing me a lot of money. So kind of pivoting, you know, or realizing what treatments I can offer that weren't going to, you know, necessarily create a dent in my, you know, in my profits in the treatment room. So breaking down product. I think a lot of people, even myself included, don't look at numbers as closely as we should, as far as, you know, the down of really what you're spending per treatment, and then what you need to make from that.
So just doing the calculations of the material cost, your time cost, and ultimately, okay, what is my margin here, and is it even worth doing it? Because, you know, it's kind of scary. Some business owners, entrepreneurs are doing it and realizing, you know what, I could have made more money flipping burgers, maybe working at McDonald's at this rate, right?
It's so true. I mean, I've had those thoughts too, you know, that it's like, okay, I did all that and it was probably a loss more than anything. But if you're giving, you know, if you're giving, it will come back, but you're in it to make money too, you know. But I also wished that I wouldn't have invested so much money into a product line when I first started, because I spent almost $2,000 on a opening order product line that I
Okay.
love their products, but it just, for me starting out, it really wasn't, it wasn't
So for
sufficient.
those that don't know, like, what is an open order product line?
Yeah, so a lot of product lines out there require you to meet a minimum to bring on their product line. So for instance, I was using Glow Skin Beauty, GLO, and
Okay.
Glow, they have different starter packages, but essentially the cheapest package was an $1,800 buy-in. So
Okay.
actually it might have been around 500, and then sometimes they'll give you an extra few hundred to play with, but it just still was a huge investment. And I could have went through a product line that had no open order minimums, but still had good education and all those other things I was looking for. So that's another thing, the initial investment. Stay within your means. If you don't have to take out credit cards and rack up a bunch of money before you're even starting the treatment room, just start slow and minimize what you're going to start offering at first. You don't have to offer everything. You know, don't get yourself overwhelmed, or even clients overwhelmed. It's kind of like the saying, jack of all trades, master of none. You know, really hone in on your niche, and that's what you want to run with and promote to clients.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good to know. So if you were to redo this all over again, just focus on a product that doesn't require any initial investment, right? You can just try out the products and say, hey, you know what? This is a good product. I will basically buy the product as I sell them, right? Or
Exactly.
you know, not $2,000 in inventory just sitting around, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, since we're talking about investment, now for when you were starting off, and also for others that are thinking about starting, you know, investment in the training, investment in kind of even from printing out business cards and getting your website set up, that initial, maybe the first 30 days, right?
Yeah.
And surviving all the way up to the next 3 months to 6 months, what would you say that you know, startup, that business should have in capital before they even consider, okay, you know what, we're gonna officially open, you know, what would be that amount, you would say?
Yeah, so really my cushion is to have 3 months of my rent to the side, just in case, you know, anything is to happen. Maybe you have a slower month, especially if you're first starting out.
Yeah.
You know, as far as the investment, there's definitely affordable product lines, which we discussed, and also modalities that you can bring into the treatment room. A lot of them offer payment plans and things like that. So I would say if you can get into doing something like that, you know, that's definitely going to be a better initial investment. It won't kind of put you whole, or it'll just alleviate that stress that, you know, I was putting out all this money and I didn't have any more than 5 clients. So then I'm stressed. How am I even going to use all this product before it expires? Or just so much more comes with that. So yeah, it's definitely make a, you know, 3 months of your rent in case you have a slower month, I think is a pretty good option. I mean, honestly, there's so many more amazing coaches out there too that could give better feedback on this than I can. You know, Maxine Drake, Daniela Warner, they're amazing business coaches that really go into diving into your numbers, and they have programs that'll walk you through tracking everything.
Nice. That's good to hear. Maybe we can invite them into the show. Yeah,
Yes, sure.
that's
Love
awesome.
it.
Yeah, that's great. So now, all right. So now we're getting close to, you know, 2019, and before 2020. What were you doing in 2019?
2019 was a really busy year, actually. I traveled a lot with Herbal Skin. So in my treatment room, I'm part-time, and then I'm also part-time with Herbal Skin Solutions. So, you know, I take clients about 3 days a week at my treatment room, and then I also teach hands-on classes in my treatment room a couple times a month, micro-needling and dermaplaning. So My client retention has been really great.
Nice.
You know, I'm pre-booking their next appointment before they even leave the treatment room. Because
Nice.
I also stay busy with traveling with Herbal Skin, they
Mm-hmm.
know that if they don't make an appointment, it might be
Mm-hmm.
hard to get in. So I think
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
you know, make your clients think you're busy even if you're not.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Have that exclusivity, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it seems silly, but you know, just get them excited. Like, oh, we want to get
Mm-hmm.
you in. A lot of people are requesting appointments, and you
Yeah.
know, this will secure your spot. So
Yep. Yep. And
I've been
also,
lucky to.
oh, go ahead. Yeah. It's
So I've
also
kind of
lucky to.
on the treatment room with my clients, and
Yeah.
having new ones come in. I get a couple new clients every month. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, so the word of mouth is still, you know, working really well for me too.
Yeah, yeah. Nice, nice. And I was just gonna say, like, it's about that, you know, like respect for everyone's time too. Like there's something, you know, time is the most valuable resource. You can't get it back. You can always make more money, you can always, you know, buy more things, but you can't buy more time. You know, once it's gone, it's gone. So it's one of those things where I've always looked at it as, okay, respect everyone's time, but at the same time, my pun intended, I guess, they should respect yours. So having a structure is key. Even though, yeah, right now you're starting a business, you have all the time in the world, but there's also other things that you could be doing too, like marketing and sales and building strategic alliances, right? Going through to other workshops and training and connecting with other, you know, estheticians and instructors like Ashley, right? So there's all these other pieces that you could be doing to grow your business, right? Versus, oh yeah, you know what? I will connect just to make what we think, right? Making that client happy. Oh, I will go to your house or go to your place, or you can come here at like 7 p.m. at night. You know, it might work for a little bit, but then there's this piece called burnout too. So you got to be careful with that. So don't get burned out in your business.
Right.
So now 2019. So 3 days a week, you're providing services at your facility, and then the other days you're traveling, right? Are you traveling all over the country? Are you traveling out, you know, within Florida? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, so kind of all over. We've done, last year we really ramped up the amount of trade shows that Herbal Skin Solutions was showcasing at. So last year we had a full year. I mean, it basically was once a month we had a trade show that we were traveling to. So some of them were in Florida, and then we're on the West Coast too, Arizona, California, Texas. Yeah, so there's a Boston, so many different great places, which for me was an experience too, because I hadn't traveled a lot out of Florida. So besides the business growth that I got, you know, taking this opportunity, the personal growth has been just as amazing. So keep that too. But yeah, it's, you know, so teaching classes, you know, anytime we go to a show, we try to schedule a class within that city. So we would usually do a class the day before, day after the trade show. So doing a lot of that, and just doing online, you know, connecting with our providers online too. Those that can't make it to, you know, in-person classes, I do online trainings about 2 days a week. So we can connect online and do training that way too.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome. So two bits. I know we're running over a little bit of time normal, but I would love to ask you these two questions. Okay, so now we're in 2020. All of a sudden, this pandemic, you know, hits you and your business, and also businesses all around the world. How are you going through that? And then finally, okay, now surviving the 2020 lockdown, you know, going into 2021, the next 3 years and 5 years, like where do you see yourself, you know, in the future in your business? So.
Yeah, so the COVID definitely has put a, you know, complete halt on a lot of our businesses. So again, that plan B that we talked about in the beginning, very important. So I did have, some savings set to the side, my 3 months, which I always try to keep to the side. So luckily that is taken care of. I don't have the financial stress of paying for my space.
Nice.
But obviously I still need income, so now it's okay. How can I pivot here and try to, get with the times or whatever this new normalcy might be temporarily. So basically I started selling at-home facial kits, and selling those to clients so they can maintain the results during, self-isolation and quarantine. A few products that are maybe newer to my treatment room that I haven't gotten a chance for them to try yet. So again, to keep their skin healthy and glowing, but to also have them try new products. I offer a step-by-step virtual consultation, so I can literally walk them through an entire facial treatment. So virtual consultations is something that will definitely be getting more into, if we find that we're not going to be able to get back into the treatment room for quite some time. And then as far as, a future plan, that's probably something I should think about a little more. I usually plan a few months out, but as far as the year's plan, I'm not really sure. I mean, I'd love to continue, owning my own business. I feel like I could never go back to working for somebody else after I've been working for myself. But, it's just continuing to build my clientele. I know that I want to be in this industry for the rest of my life. So just connecting with new people, creating relationships, and my ultimate goal is to make everybody feel amazing. So if I'm accomplishing that, then I'm accomplishing my goals.
Awesome. Yeah, actually, you know what? One more question. If you could go into a time machine, go back and tell your younger self anything you want, right, to prepare for what you're going through right now, and in the few years that the business has been growing, what would you tell your younger self?
Yeah, so definitely step out of your comfort zone. I mean, I know that it sounds maybe cliche, it's talked about all the time, but, as somebody that's personally gone through, anxiety in the past or struggling with putting myself out there, you really have to work from within too, so just stay confident. The no can stand in your way, stand true to yourself, do things the way you want to do them and not how anybody else wants you or thinks that you should be doing them. Just really trust your gut and follow your intuition, because you never know what opportunities might come your way. And if you're open to that, it will just, the abundancy will just be that much greater.
Love it. So for those that are watching and listening, how can they reach you to, ask questions, learn more about your products and your services, especially if they're in the Orlando area, or maybe when the lockdown's over and people can start traveling, they can hear about where you're going to provide, training and whatnot. So how can others reach you?
So if you want to learn or follow more about my personal aesthetic business, you can follow faces_ by Ashley on Instagram. And on Facebook, my business page is Face by Ashley Hanlon. My last name is Hanlon. And then if you're interested, a fellow esthetician interested in training or the Herbal Skin Solutions product line, which is what I carry in my treatment room, you can find us at Herbal Skin Solutions on IG or at Esty Academy, ESTY. Esty Academy is our educational platform, and Herbal Skin Solutions is our product line platform. Both of them, you get amazing resources. We always post upcoming classes and cities. Of course, everything is tentative right now, but as soon as we're able to get back in the classroom, we will. We miss it so much.
Sure. Well, again, thank you so much. And everyone, hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, Dave.